Dude, I think you're eating in your sleep.
Sleep eating? That's a thing?
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 worst Nickelodeon shows.
You're wasting our time! Dad, hurt him!
For this list, we'll be looking at the most boring or tasteless programming that aired on Nick and or its sister channels that aren't worth the green slime they were made of. Which of these shows makes you change the channel? Let us know in the comments.
Hey Mojoholics! For a chance to win cash prizes, play our live daily trivia challenges every day at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern only at WatchMojo.com/play.
Number 20, The Naked Brothers Band.
Hi, I'm Nat Wolf. Hey, I'm Alex Wolf. And we're here to introduce you to our documentary about us.
At first glance, a satiric take on the trials and tribulations folks in the music industry face doesn't sound half bad. The thing is, The Naked Brothers Band aired on Nickelodeon. Any of the mockumentary's attempts at real criticism were watered down into droll, cookie-cutter plot lines.
And what, pal? I don't need advice from you on how to treat my girlfriend.
This then begs the question, why even bother with a faux documentary format at all? Unfortunately, the show never managed to answer that question. Instead, it buried its own pitch beneath a thick layer of obvious humor and flat characters. In the brothers' defense, the musical numbers are genuinely pretty catchy, but they aren't worth yawning through endless eye-rolling quips to get there. Number 19, Game Shakers. The biggest issue with this program is that it doesn't feel like a TV show in the first place. See, Game Shakers stars a group of young entrepreneurs at the helm of a gaming company.
Some jerk hacked our server and stole our game Nasty Goats. And then uploaded it to a pirate website.
Look, I got pirates on my pajamas. Arrgh!
In a brilliant bit of cross-promotion, many of their inventions became playable titles on the Nickelodeon app or online. But therein lies the issue. Episodes of Game Shakers feel like they were reverse-engineered to justify new games instead of the other way around. Pair that with a distinct lack of charm or laughs, and you're left with boring commercials.
Better?
Worse.
Oh god.
It's no shock that this game ran out of lives after just 3 disappointing seasons. Number 18, Talia in the Kitchen. Clearly, this ill-advised recipe had way too many ingredients. It featured a dash of wholesome humor, a sprinkle of teen drama, and a heaping dose of tonal whiplash. That's right, even though Talia in the Kitchen baked in the oven for 40 episodes, it never quite decided whether to be sweet or salty, a family comedy or a teen melodrama.
That's what I love about you. What? Did you say something? I didn't say anything. I'm thirsty.
In the end, the finished dish only succeeded in leaving a bad taste in everyone's mouth, including Nickelodeon's. They primarily aired the series in 2 installments, with little to no reruns in between. It certainly seems they weren't happy with the meal they ordered, and after tasting it ourselves, we can't blame them.
She probably cooks as horribly as she dresses.
Whatever. Eat it. Don't eat it. I don't care. I said I'd apologize, and I did.
Number 17, Super Ninjas. You heard that right. These ninjas aren't super, they're distinctly supa. Sadly, the show doesn't get any more clever than that.
Nicely done, ninja.
Instead, it wastes its charming cast on jokes that are too lowbrow to even be called corny. Then again, missed potential is kind of Super Ninja's thing. After all, they got George Takei to play the team's mentor, only to saddle him in a hologram. In lieu of any real character development, episodes typically throw poorly choreographed fights at the screen and call it a day. Understandably, most audiences seemingly weren't having it.
Okay, Bugman, prepare to be squashed.
Good one.
Thanks. I've been holding on to it for a while.
Since the show only lasted 2 seasons, it's safe to say these ninjas went a bit too undercover. Number 16, Tack and the Power of Juju. To put it bluntly, this is the kind of show where what you see is what you get. Fart jokes and all.
If someone could empty my diapers, I believe I've made a boom boom.
Yes, it's true that Tack and the Power of Juju has bright colors, quirky characters, and an interesting world. But without any sort of moral to tie it all together, the whole thing comes across as grating and mindless. Let's just say that for someone who can communicate with magical creatures, Tack sure lacks a whole lot of soul.
The tribe will probably never believe it, but my Juju power finally came through. I defeated the Woodies!
The Power of Juju was based on the 2003 video game of the same name, and honestly, you're better off just playing through that instead. Number 15, Sanjay and Craig. There's immature, there's crude, and then there's Sanjay and Craig.
What do I do? What do I do?
Squish it!
I can't! It's too gross!
Sure, no one expected a show about a talking snake to be sophisticated, but this one flushes down so much potty humor, it makes you wonder who the target audience is supposed to be. We can't imagine it's anyone watching Nickelodeon, and no amount of celebrity cameos will convince us otherwise. If anything, they do the opposite. The randomness of Sanjay and Craig's humor means there's never a chance to settle down and explore the world.
Are you gonna tell me what's going on?
Well, it's a funny story.
As a result, the show suffers from weak characters, weaker plots, and no reason to keep watching. Not that there was much of one to begin with. Number 14, Pig, Goat, Banana, Cricket. The pitch for this sounds like the setup of a bad joke, and given the results, it kind of is. Pig, Goat, Banana, Cricket does, in fact, star a pig, a goat, a banana, and a cricket.
Has anyone ever told you that you look like a banana?
Yeah, I get that all the time.
Before you ask, yes, it's just as chaotically confusing as it sounds, and not in a good way. Every episode is basically a walking, talking headache, one that can only be cured by turning off the TV. That's not hyperbole. Nickelodeon essentially did just that with the series' second season. In response to embarrassingly low ratings, Pig, Goat, Banana, Cricket got demoted to Nicktoons. There, it aired as it lived, chaotically with little rhyme or reason.
Thomas Jefferson!
Number 13, Bucket and Skinner's Epic Adventures. Don't let the name fool you. This show is about the farthest thing from epic you can get.
A trophy's a trophy, huh?
Really, Bucket and Skinner is just a tired, shameless retread of the many great teen shows that came before it. It has the classic high school setting, the generic love interest, the self-absorbed jerk. The only difference is, this time, it's presented without any wit or heart to back it up.
I put the Caesar in salad, bro. Fact!
The worst offenders are Bucket and Skinner themselves. Despite the inordinate focus placed on them, their dopey antics get old very fast, like before the first commercial break fast. With these two as the title characters, Bucket and Skinner's Epic Adventures was doomed from the start. Number 12, Alvin and the Chipmunks. After decades of the Alvin and the Chipmunks franchise defining Chipmunks media, it's almost impressive to see this CG show get just about everything wrong. The well-meaning morals, the stylized plot lines, the remarkably smart comedy, it's all essentially gone. In their place, Alvin, and to a lesser extent Simon and Theodore, adopt a strange sense of humor that makes them feel more like brats than anything else.
What a jerk. Yeah, that was mean. Yeah, definitely. But also, maybe, a good time to reflect.
The rebellious edge misunderstands what makes the brand work in the first place. And that's without even mentioning the show's poor characterization and subpar animation quality. It may add a few catchy songs to the Chipmunks catalog, but otherwise, this is an unfortunate stain on their fantastic legacy.
Alvin, please leave me alone. Brittany, believe me, nothing would give me more pleasure.
Number 11, The Haunted Hathaways. The only scary part of this haunted house is the writing. You'd think that, with a literal other world of possibilities, the show would evolve past the same old obvious punchlines. But sadly, that doesn't happen. Instead, The Haunted Hathaways squanders its fun setup with a persistent lack of ambition, both in the humor and overall storytelling.
Please, Ray, I've seen her make a grown man cry.
That was one time.
It's maddening to see the show constantly default to bland tropes and cliches when its ghostly setting is capable of so much more. It isn't even a particularly good ripoff either. Suffice it to say, The Haunted Hathaways is barely worth the time it takes to watch one episode. And that's maybe being generous.
It's all starting to make sense now.
It is?
Number 10, Planet Sheen.
Sheen, do not push this button.
Sheen Estevez has a pretty good life in the original Jimmy Neutron series. However, he leaves all that behind in this spin-off when he stupidly blasts himself off to a far-off planet that basically worships him for some odd reason.
Does it?
No.
Or does it?
While the original series had clever humor and solid visuals, many believed that Planet Sheen's imagery was painful to the eyes, and the only joke is Sheen himself, showing why he really should have stayed a supporting character. The series ended before Sheen ever returned to Earth. Not that he seemed to particularly care. Sure, he was working on the damaged rocket, but he honestly seemed perfectly content to have left his family and friends behind.
Nope, doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, now I got a lot to teach ya.
Teach me?
Number 9. Butt Ugly Martians.
B-K-M! B-K-M! B-K-M!
3 Martians sent to conquer Earth fall in love with the planet, and decide to fool their gullible emperor with fake reports, while they have fun with 3 teens and preteens, occasionally going toe-to-toe with a bumbling alien hunter voiced by the late Robert Stack.
I ate those 3 Martians, so don't go looking for them. Hey, Muldoon, you the man!
Though an interesting concept on paper, people thought the final product fell flat, thanks to tacky writing and stock characters. Worst of all was the animation and character design, which put the butt ugly in the series title. The humans looked arguably even worse than the aliens. The series ran for 26 episodes, before ending on a cliffhanger, setting up for a second season that thankfully never happened. Number 8. Marvin.
I'll take you places, make you treats, but first, a Clitonian back rub.
YouTube celebrity Lucas Crookshank got the chance to star in 2 Nickelodeon sitcoms, and they both bombed horribly. One of those hot messes features Crookshank as Marvin, an alien disguised as a human teenager trying to adapt to life on Earth with the help of his adopted family.
My force field is rather powerful, is it not, Dad Bob?
If there's some deeper meaning about being yourself, viewers are bound to miss it, as Marvin's annoyingly wacky antics and hilarious gross-out jokes overshadows pretty much everything else, including the supporting cast.
Yes, I'm looking for someone. First name Harry, last name Butts.
While it could be considered Lucas's swan song for when he finally left the orange carpet, that would imply that this feeble imitation of Mork and Mindy was some sort of high note, which is not the case for many.
Guys! Hey, it's an alien! Why is everyone screaming?
Because you turned off your human disguise.
Sorry.
Number 7. The Nick Cannon Show.
Yo, what's up, students? Nick Cannon is here, and I'm taking over your school. What's up?
After his role in smash hit All That, Nick Cannon landed his own short-lived spin-off series. This semi-scripted comedy has Nick taking over an everyday place or scenario to match his more outrageous vision. We even meet a few familiar faces along the way, including his All That character, LaTanya.
This is where they shoot the show, y'all. Maybe I could be on this show.
While Nick himself has charisma, the show itself is pretty forgettable. Trying to act as both a comedy and a semi-reality series feels off-kilter and boring. Not to mention the premise of Nick changing things for his amusement every week was just too bizarre for viewers. The series finally ended due to low ratings.
I've come up with a scientific method to determine how fast food really is. Drop it off the side of a building. Ha! Bullseye!
Number 6. Breadwinners.
Buckle up, Duckies, cause we got a rocket fan. Delivering bread, flying crazy cause we can.
The creators of the original Breadwinners YouTube short were reportedly shocked when Nickelodeon greenlit this for television. And they're not the only ones.
Is it not a beautiful day to deliver bread? Yep.
The series follows 2 anthropomorphic ducks who fly around in their rocket van, delivering bread to other odd individuals in a strange video game-inspired world. While it aimed for a younger audience, there's no sustenance. The morals are half-baked, the voices are loud and obnoxious, the pacing is suffocating, and people felt constantly tortured with horrible rapping and heavy uses of toilet humor.
Buns, big baby buns, shake those big baby buns.
Sitting down to watch this travesty is no way to break bread. And trust us, this series' wordplay is even worse than ours.
We got a sneak peek up in your beak. We got a sneak peek up in your beak.
Number 5. Awesomeness TV.
Welcome to Awesomeness TV. I'm Ian.
And I'm Anthony, and together we're known as Smosh.
Adapted from the YouTube channel of the same name, this sketch comedy, which was first hosted by Victorious' Daniela Monet, and later by miscellaneous teen celebrities, features skits, music videos, and all kinds of hidden camera shenanigans, both new and reused from YouTube. Contrary to the title, few found anything awesome about this show, at all. The jokes are dry attempts to connect with a modern audience, but ultimately come off as dated and unfunny.
despite what the overused laugh track might suggest. Top it off with lazy editing and sloppy cinematography, and you get a very harsh life lesson. Just because it's funny on YouTube doesn't always mean it's good for television.
Do I have something on my face? Nah, you're good. Okay.
Number 4. Rob Dyrdek's Wild Grinders.
Wild Grinders!
This series follows Lil Rob, voiced by creator and real-life skateboarder Rob Dyrdek, and his gang in search of thrills and shenanigans as they take to the streets. Oh, and they have a talking dog. Because why not?
I can't believe he fell for that! Wanna player? Click!
It's been labeled a ripoff of the Nicktoon Rocket Power, and it's not hard to see why. It tries to appeal to the cool skateboarding crowd, and fails miserably. As if the tacky animation and the bland voice acting weren't enough, the characters are walking stereotypes in a boring, unfunny narrative.
Man, we can't keep filming the same uninspired tricks in the same old spot.
If it's as loosely based on Dyrdek's actual life as it claims, then it doesn't do his life or its intended audience justice.
Come on, man. Who cares about being golden grinders?
Number 3. Nick Studio 10.
I don't know how I feel about this, but I will go.
Yeah, you shall pick a red ingredient.
I will start with red.
Technically, this wasn't really a full-length show, but it was universally loathed enough to earn a spot on this list. From February to June 2013, our weekdays were plagued with an afternoon block hosted by forgettable teenagers, which includes behind-the-scenes activities with Nick stars and allegedly funny little sketches aimed for the preteen demographic.
Oh my gosh.
Eggplant!
I love eggplant! I thought it was like...
I love eggplant, and this one was, that was great.
Oh, give me that!
However, the studio content had no real structure, making all the activities into a loud, unpleasant mess. And their attempts at skits
It's a fart in a jar.
left a poor taste in viewers' mouths.
The following is an important announcement.
Nick did it!
Worst of all, they frequently interrupted any good Nick program with random clips, just because they could. Thankfully, the block was pulled that summer, and Nickelodeon watchers rejoiced.
Cheers.
Number 2, Fanboy and Chum Chum. Adding to the network's plentiful list of dynamic duos are Fanboy and Chum Chum, 2 fifth-grade comic book geeks whose everyday antics include sipping Frosty Freezy Freezes, pining over an Arctic-themed superhero, or just being a nuisance to everyone around them.
Robot, how would you like to switch brains?
Totally bogus, dude.
While the show does sneak in the occasional pop culture reference or movie spoof, those are tragically overshadowed by the unsightly, over-the-top visuals and annoyingly loud characters, and topped off with gross-out humor and dated jokes. What's even more shocking, it's rumored that Nickelodeon picked this show over Adventure Time, which ended up going to Cartoon Network. Well, we've all made mistakes.
All right, I don't... Totally worth it.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Fred the Show.
Hey guys, good thing you're here. Tell me what you think. This shirt or this one?
We apologize in advance for your bleeding ears. For unknown reasons, someone granted Lucas Cruikshank's YouTube character, Fred Figglehorn, 3 TV movies and a TV series. Based on the web series, the show is just as you'd expect. Fred engaging in wacky hijinks and screeching at the top of his high-pitched lungs.
Now, Kevin, is that any way to talk to your B to the F to the F?
Unsurprisingly, few could stand his aggravating attitude or blood-curdling voice. The show was pulled from the airwaves after a few months, and Fred the character was retired.
Once again, we can appreciate Nickelodeon giving web content creators such a big opportunity, but at what cost?
I am really getting bored of this house!
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.